Am I the a-hole for asking my best friend to break up with his uneducated, unemployed girlfriend so we can be together? Original post. I know the title makes me seem like a bee, but I couldn't think of another way to summarize it in one go. We'll call him Dean, and we'll call his girlfriend Helen. Basically, I'm a university student and interned at a marketing company over the last few summers. Dean was my boss there, and we became really close friends. Our friendship moved outside of work, and I no longer intern there at all. The more we talked, the more I fell for him. He's incredible, hardworking, successful, funny, the whole package. His girlfriend is not, in my opinion. She's actually a loser. She's uneducated and unemployed. Helen dropped out of high school because of family problems. Apparently, her mom has severe anxiety and depression, overdosed multiple times when Helen was a kid, and would have breakdowns and threatened to hurt herself if she was left alone. So, Helen stayed home with her and still does when necessary, because her father can't get retired. Over the years, Helen has admitted it's weighed on her own mental health. She sees a psychiatrist and takes medication. She's developed her own irrational anxiety. She's had some jobs over the years, in the hours her dad is home with her mom from work, but would have screaming and crying panic attacks while on the job. She has them at home sometimes too, at night, but she can calm herself down okay apparently. Subsequently, she's never finished school or held down a job. Dean and I have talked about it many times. He insists she's doing her best, that she does all the cooking, cleaning, laundry, yard work, etc. at her home. She gets a very small amount of money from her father for this weekly. She also does video game streaming and makes some money from that. Barely any, I think. They've been together for 5 years, and he's come to terms with the fact she may never work or get educated. Dean has a marketing degree, but he doesn't seem to care. He says he will provide financially, and he's okay with her being a stay-at-home mom someday, or even just a stay-at-home wife. I DM'd him asking him why he's even in love with her, how he fell in love with her, just why? I don't get it. He can do so much better. He said this: I fell in love with her for many reasons. She's sweet, kind, cute, and she always sees the best in people, even with everything that she's been through. I think she's funny, beautiful, intelligent, and is always trying to do some good. I like that she's random, silly, quirky, and passionate AF. I like how competitive she is, because I'm competitive too. I like that she's athletic. I like how she cooks things, top of the dome, without the need to Google everything, like me. I love her giggle and I really love her smile. I like her singing voice and, well, all of her voices. I like her hugs and I love her kisses. I like when her fingers are in my hair. I like the things that she draws or makes from hand. I like it when she holds my hand. I like her taste in memes, and I like her taste in music. I like her puns and her sense of humor. I really like her presence, and I like her dance moves and how good she is at everything. I like that she likes to help people. I genuinely like the person that she is, always have. I admire her a lot and will always want her for myself. I told him how I felt about him, how I'm in love with him, and that I wished she wasn't around. He said, well, I'm lucky that she is. I don't know what I'd do without her. I told him he's just comfortable, and he's staying with her because it's been a long time. That I've been at a place in my life where I thought I couldn't go on without certain people, but I survived, and he would too. He said this: well, I don't want to, so I'd appreciate you not saying things like, I wish she wasn't in the picture. That's awful. If you cared at all about me, then you'd say that I'm lucky to have her and respect that, you know? So, he adamantly won't leave her, and I don't understand why. With the little money she earns, she saves up to do some very special things for him. Got him a cameo from his favorite actress, took him to see his favorite sports team in the playoffs, got him a PS4. She's taking him to his favorite band this summer. She also does sweet stuff for him, like give him random cards, drawings, paintings, crap like that. I think maybe that's the real reason he stays with her, but I could do that stuff for him too. She's had years to do it. I'm studying hard. I work as a barista to get through school. I love talking to him. I love spending time with him. He means the world to me. Does anyone have advice on how I can win him over? I just want him for myself. I'm the better choice for him. He just doesn't realize it right now. What can I do here? Edit. Some people think I'm posting. I'm not. Here's some of our DMs. Editor's note. Transcripts of screenshots. Dean. How materialistic are you? Me. You're really going to support some stupid bee the rest of your life? That's really insane. Dean. It's none of your business. Why'd you apologize if you're still going like this? Me. 'Cause I don't think you realize how dumb what you're choosing for yourself is. She's not worth it. You can have someone who is your equal. Dean. Listen, I don't have to argue with you about who I'm going to marry, LOL. You want to talk? We can talk about anything you want except my relationship. Otherwise, I won't be replying. Me. You looked out for me, so I'm just looking out for you. I'm just being a good friend. She has no job though, and I do. Dean. Yeah, you're a real treat. Me. At least I'm not a broke bee. Dean. You work at a coffee shop and rent a room. Redacted lol. Me. Yeah, which is more than she does, isn't it? Dean. No, actually. Call my girlfriend bit one more time. Me. Call them like I see them. No one else would do that. You're still talking to me. You didn't give up. Dean. Just trying to look out. Doesn't seem like you have anyone else. Anyone would do the same. Me. Not any guy I've met before. I just wish she wasn't in the picture, I guess. Dean. Well, I'm lucky that she is. I don't know what I'd do without her. Me. You'd go on like everyone else. There are many people I thought I couldn't go on without, but here I am. You would figure it out too. Dean. Well, I don't want to. So I'd appreciate you not saying things like, I wish she wasn't in the picture. That's awful. If you cared at all about me, then you'd say that I'm lucky to have her and respect that. You know? We were fighting here, but we usually have a great relationship. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Why are you on a high horse because you're getting a degree in marketing, which are a dime a dozen? This woman is ill and may not be able to work. You are not better than her because you work and go to school. Your username is really scary to me, as I don't know how you can hate someone for having an anxiety disorder. She sounds like a great partner, and if he's happy to have her stay at home and maintain the house, why is it any of your concern? Also, this woman had to take care of her mother. It's not that she doesn't work. She works so hard and has since her childhood. She's been the responsible caregiver her whole life. But just because she can't hold a conventional job and get a conventional education, she's not good enough? I bet this woman knows more about making other people happy and more about taking care of a home and handling shared responsibility than this entitled girl ever will. And if she's taking meds and working with a therapist, I bet she knows more about healthy relationships, dealing with confrontation, and processing negative emotions than her too. Signed, another girl who was forced to be her parents' caretaker. Link him to this Reddit post and he'll be able to see where you're coming from in a way that's clearer than text messages, which are short and impersonal. He'll see it with super clear eyes, and he'll probably even realize he needs to take the problem person out of his life. Your replies in particular will show him everything he hasn't realized. So you agree she's a problem? Thank you. People in this post are judging me so hard, and I'm trying to stand by myself because I know what I believe in here is what's right for me and him. I'm giving him some time to cool off, but I'll link it to him this weekend. Might want to do it sooner than later. There's a decent chance this thread won't be around by the weekend. I'd be a little surprised if it made it to the end of today. What do you mean? I don't think it'll be deleted. I'll send it to him now then, and just tell him to open his eyes and have an open heart. Maybe he will come around. Thanks for being understanding unlike everyone else. Good idea. This could definitely shed some light on the situation and warn him or push him to finally remove a toxic influence from his life. Edit. I decided to link him to this post as someone who commented recommended. Hopefully he'll get a better insight into where I'm at emotionally and why. Now for the best friend's reply in the comments. Lori, you linked me to this post so I could understand you better. And now I do. I love my girlfriend more than life itself. I've been with her for 5 years for a reason. Not because of what she can offer me financially, but because of who she is as a person. That's what matters to me. I'll work 3 jobs if it means keeping her. For example, she once spent 2 hours traveling in the rain to bring my sick mom some homemade soup. Money doesn't buy that kind of heart. I never told you that story because you would get emotional and angry with me for even bringing up my girlfriend. I tried to be your friend because you seemed lonely when we worked together. You said your roommates don't talk to you and your family's back in your home country. We never had a future together. It's not even a possibility. I will protect that woman at all costs, and it really hurts me to see you talking crap about her to strangers on the internet. I hope you'll have the integrity to take this down. Maybe it's best we don't stay friends for now and see where things head. You sent me the link to this thread, and then you immediately blocked me on Instagram? Why? I don't understand what you want from me at this point, but it's no longer worth my energy. If you're ready to grow up and respect my relationship, give me a call. LMAO. Too many ants the real hero here. OP was so deluded she actually thought they were talking about the girlfriend. It kind of amazes me that Dean didn't take the problem person out of his life when she said she wished his girlfriend was out of the picture. I was wondering if he kind of enjoyed how hot she was for him. Nah, he just pities her. Next story. My work wife called me her soulmate in front of my actual wife. Now my marriage is in trouble. So I, 33 male, work in a pretty tight-knit corporate team and have gotten close to a co-worker, Becca, 29 female. We've joked for years that she's my work wife, and it's always been strictly platonic. My actual wife, 32 female, knows about Becca, and while she's never been enthusiastic, she's always been chill about it. Until last week. Our office threw a going-away party for one of our team leads. There was drinking, speeches, inside jokes flying around. It was all lighthearted until Becca got up, toasted me specifically, and said something like, "To my soulmate, my partner in crime. If I believed in alternate timelines, we'd be married in one of them." Dead silence. I was stunned. Everyone laughed awkwardly and moved on. But my wife, who was invited and sitting right next to me, was visibly pissed. She didn't say anything at the party, but when we got home, she just said, "So, how long has your coworker been in love with you?" I tried to explain that it was just a joke, but she wasn't having it. She said it didn't feel like a joke, and to be honest, I'm not sure it did either. Becca's been acting different lately, texting me late, finding excuses to linger after work. I chalked it up to her being quirky, but now I'm second-guessing everything. My wife told me she feels disrespected and humiliated, that I let this woman cross a line for years and didn't do anything to shut it down. She hasn't spoken to me in 2 days, except to say she's re-evaluating. I never thought a dumb work dynamic could destroy my marriage. I'm not even sure how to fix this. Now for the top comments. Yeah, I'd be pissed too. You should have shut that down a long time ago. Work wife? How about your actual wife? It's so gross to me, a husband, when guys talk about their work wives. Grow up. You knew and enjoyed the attention. Now you gotta shut it down. I'm a woman and I wouldn't think of calling someone my work husband. The highest rank is work bestie. You stop lingering after work with Becca. She can linger all she wants. You don't have to linger with her, do you? That's you being a volunteer. You don't go out for lunch or happy hour if she's going. You stop answering any text that is not a necessary work communication, and absolutely nothing she sends after hours or on the weekend. And you tell her that what she said upset your wife, and it can't ever happen again. You also apologize to your wife for not paying attention to the boundaries that protect your marriage. This is not rocket science, is it? You had one foot in a potential affair. At the very least, you enjoy being the focus of Becca's attention. So get honest with yourself. Do you want to save your marriage, or continue to have one foot in and one foot out? If you pull back to a more professional relationship, that will help you also on the job. That dead silence wasn't a help to your career or your marriage. And what Becca said wasn't a joke. She was making a statement in front of your wife. She was marking her territory to his wife. She took one giant swing at OP's marriage. How could you not possibly see everything wrong with this situation? That is not a dumb work dynamic. That is you being dumb and acting like you didn't know you let this go way too far. Because he enjoyed the attention, obviously. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not going home after giving birth because my husband missed it to help our friends? I, 32, just had our second baby a few days ago, and instead of going home, I asked to be discharged to my sisters. I don't know if that makes me an a-hole or overly emotional or whatever, which is why I'm here. Some background. My husband, 33, and I were teen parents. We had our daughter at 18 and 19. She's 14 now. It's been a long road, and we waited a long time to feel ready to go through it all again. This baby was very much planned and wanted, but ever since I hit the third trimester, I felt kind of alone in it. My husband started spending a lot of time with this couple we know. They're in a similar boat. They had their first as teens too, and just had their second recently. I get that it's a lot for them. Their oldest is 17, and they weren't planning on another, so he's been helping them out. But it went from a nice gesture to almost daily visits. Grocery runs, watching their newborn while they nap, fixing stuff around their house, bringing food over, and sometimes with our daughter tagging along, sometimes without even letting me know he was going. Meanwhile, I was trying to keep up with everything at home, going to appointments alone, dealing with the mess that is late pregnancy. I brought it up to him more than once, and every time he'd either say I was exaggerating or that he was there, just not in the way I wanted him to be. He kept saying I was being territorial or weirdly competitive about them needing help, which made me question myself even more. I also started noticing changes in our daughter. She's a nice dancer and has an intense schedule, and after going with her dad to help at their house, she'd come back totally spaced out. Quiet, eating less. I figured she was just tired, but it started to feel off. She almost fell during practice one morning because she was so drained, and her coach made her sit out the rest of the week. That was a big wake-up call for me. I told my husband that enough was enough and we needed to pull back, not just for me, but for her too. He apologized, said he'd keep the visits shorter, only go when it was really needed. The visits were hardly shorter, but my daughter seemed less tired, and I could actually go to sleep with my husband some nights, so I counted it as a win. When I went into labor, I called him from the car while my sister drove me to the hospital. No answer. Texted. Nothing. He showed up about 4 hours after the baby was born. With a slushie for me, said he was sorry, but said the other couple had a rough night and he didn't want to just leave them stranded. I didn't know what to say. I didn't want a big scene right there in the hospital, but when I could be discharged, I just had my sister take home since my husband wasn't there. Now he's saying I'm being dramatic, that I'm punishing him for helping people who don't have the support we do. He told me I'm being cold and that I'm setting a bad example for our daughter by shutting him out. He's also implied more than once that I'm trying to act like a victim when he was doing what any decent person would do. His mom called yesterday and said I should be ashamed for taking the baby away. I never said anything about keeping our son from him. I've told him he can come see the baby whenever he wants. I've been texting our daughter, keeping up with her, and I plan to be back home the moment I've recovered enough. I'm not trying to split our family. I just needed a break, a quiet space to breathe, and actually rest. I'm exhausted, mentally and physically. But now I'm second-guessing myself. Was it wrong to go somewhere else to recover? Should I have just gone home and tried to work it out there? I don't want this to turn into some drawn-out fight or drama, especially not with a newborn in the picture. I don't even know if I'm thinking clearly at this point. Have you asked your daughter what's actually going on over there? Being withdrawn after is a red flag. Can't upvote this enough. This is the weirdest part of a very weird story. And the one that worries me most, in a very disturbing story about a spectacularly useless and harmful husband and father. You are not wrong, of course. This man has abandoned OP and the family. I think your husband is the third member of a throuple. I'm thinking that other baby is his. That was my first thought.